We should be live momentarily. And we're live. Yes, 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 yes.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is tea time.
It is tea time. Time.
Thank you, Gina. That was so beautiful. And here's some sage for you guys to bless you and clear you and refresh you and get it together. It is International Women's Day, and we are so excited because we meant
Yeah.
this twosome, a threesome. Yes, we have
We sure
our
did.
beautiful guest here. We have Cheryl Cole,
Oh,
who's going to be, who created, and I'd like to start off saying, ladies, before we start, this is amazing to me because we have so many people out there that are learning about teas and want to know about teas, and there's many people jumping on the tea bandwagon now. So when you have someone that says, hey, I could make these teas like Cheryl, she doesn't need to buy expensive tea, she doesn't need to jump on the most expensive tea company. She went in and found teas, because teas are inexpensive, guys. So she found amazing teas to make, and we're going to celebrate her tea today, guys. So I'm so excited to welcome Cheryl to our tea talk today.
Yay! Welcome,
thank
Cheryl.
you.
We have Lori. Lori says, "Oh, I'm going to have to catch the replay. I have a meeting this afternoon." Well,
Hi,
That's
Lori.
catch
okay.
Hi.
the replay, Lori. All right. And for everyone who's coming in, thank you so much for joining us. It is International Women's Day, and we've got
Yes.
three powerful women on this call right here.
Right. And
Yeah.
because we're going to honor it, we're going to pull a card from the Goddess Power cards to see what goddess is going to enlighten us on this beautiful day of, you know what, women raising each other up and empowering
That's
mothers just to stand together. And look at this. Hecate. Look at that. I love it. I love it. The in between, because no matter what, we need to be in the
Ooh,
in between of life. And that is what Hecate is for us. So, yes, thank
of
you,
course
Hecate,
it's
for joining
a
us on
black
this
crown.
beautiful. All right. So beautiful.
I'm wearing
So
her
what are we
cologne,
talking
her
about today? Look
perfume,
at her. Look at that. Isn't she? Yes.
and
So
she's
I
Right.
got
For
also
two
in
those
the
of you
shots.
who
tea.
don't know who we are, my name is Gina. I'm a complementary medicine practitioner. That basically means that I work with things from essential oils, herbs, sound therapy, art therapy, Reiki, all the things. And then my lovely co-host is Magical MJ. And
Yes.
MJ, I'll let you tell a little bit about yourself. But I brought her
Hi.
on because she is like the perfect counterpart to me. She is, you know, very upbeat. I mean, I can be, but I tend to be more subdued. She's like total opposite, but she has this like all this magical stuff that she does.
So hi, I am MJ. I am a past life practitioner. Okay, so basically what I do, what my main jam is my past life regression sessions, my soul retrievals. I actually teach you how to do past life regressions and soul retrievals. I am a high priestess and a medium and oracle. I can connect with spirit. I feel, see, sense, and hear the angels in all sense of the word. I am an alchemist. What I am a master crystal healer. I use crystals to heal you. I am a Reiki master teacher, and you can find me on my page, Love Notes from the Angels on Facebook, and Love Notes underscore from the Angels underscore on Instagram, where I do once a month. I do the once a week actually. I do a quantum chronicle where I tell you a story about my past life regression journey. And also, I do my spiritual chancla where I move you, because I'm a people pusher. I love to move you out of your space into a new form of living. So, and I'm a tarot and oracle medium. I connect with spirit also using the cards, something I love to do. But for today, I am just the co host of this amazing tea talk where I will focus on the spiritual aspects, the crystal aspects, and the history of the teas that we're about to get into. So thank you and welcome for joining us.
And we have Empty Nester said, and she has a great gift, I know. Yes.
Thank you.
Right. So the tea that we're going to be talking about today, like we said, was created by Cheryl, and it is called the Divine Power and Shield Tea Blend. So I would like to know, Cheryl, can you share a little bit about the story behind why you created this tea?
I've made sun teas my whole life, and for some reason I stopped, but I figured out why I stopped. It was because of religious reasons. I wasn't drinking caffeinated drinks, so for some reason I stopped making herbal teas too. And I started dabbling back into it because I'm doing a lot of plant medicine and natural alternatives. So I started dabbling back into the teas. And like MJ said, I saw how cheap it was to make it yourself, because you can buy a pound of just about any organic herb for about $15 compared to a $6 box of tea that you only get like 10 bags of. So I started just being really smart and picking. First I did chamomile, lavender, and mint. And then I just, because those are the basis for just about any tea that you could use. And then I just started adding stuff. Well, when we did this tea, my best friend and I wanted something that we can do in the sun, but something that was really magical and powerful, because her and you had both said about looking the herbs up to make sure they were safe together. And I'd never thought of that. I usually would just go to the cabinet and throw them all together. And I wasn't looking at the cautions of the herbs. So I did that. I went and I grabbed what I wanted first, what I thought would go together for our strength, like to make you feel really good and like a queen, like a princess, but also to make you feel protected and powerful, where you're like an almighty, like Hecate, basically. Like she's in the notes of the tea, right? Which is funny that you drew her card. Wait, hold on. Because she's right there in the notes. And for Dandelion. Yeah. So, but that's what we wanted to feel empowered and stuff. And this tea it's so, and it was also has, just when you start researching the qualities, when you go into that, you'll see all the magical properties and stuff that it has. So that was why we named it.
Talk about that. Yeah, she's going to talk about all of that. Cecilia says, hey, Gina, MJ, Cheryl. And Empty Nester says, it's Shannon. Okay, thank you for letting me know. All right, so thank you guys for being here. Okay, so the ingredients are peppermint, burdock root. We continue dandelion leaf, white willow bark, and orange peel, as well as hibiscus and goji berries. And is that all? I think I mentioned everything.
Yes,
that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I just add a little maple syrup and some oat milk if you want it hot. I'm half British, so I add milk to everything, but it's oat milk now.
Right. And if you're fasting, you're not adding any sweetener, right?
Yeah, I use maple syrup.
We're watching you. We're watching you.
I just use maple syrup. And you can do it hot or cold.
Yes.
It's perfect either way.
All right. So we're going to start off with the very first ingredient, which is peppermint. So I will talk about the medicinal properties of peppermint. Then MJ will talk about the spiritual historical portion, and then talk about the crystals that align with that particular property. Okay. So peppermint. Peppermint has been used, actually, for those of you who didn't know, peppermint is actually kind of a crossbreed between watermint and spearmint. How many of you knew that?
Yeah.
It's a crossbreed. So peppermint has been used as a medicine for thousands and thousands of years, but it was not recognized as its own distinct species until the late 17th century. It's antiviral, it's got antibacterial properties, anti-inflammatory properties, all of those things. Helps with nausea, vomiting relating to pregnancy, and even chemotherapy. So if you're going through chemotherapy treatment, peppermint
Oh,
is really good at alleviating that kind of nausea. It eases any kind of digestive upset, eases gas pain, constipation, diarrhea, those type of things. And if you notice, it's used a lot in toothpaste. So a lot of people tend to buy toothpaste that has that peppermint flavor, that spearmint flavor, because it does help to freshen your breath. If you're using the essential oil, here's a fact. I know people who use the essential oil to make the tea, and they pour in a bunch. One drop of the peppermint essential oil
yeah.
is equivalent to about 12 cups of the actual peppermint tea. That is how concentrated the peppermint
Whoa.
essential oil really is. So if you are
We use it for
trained
salt.
in using the essential oils as far as in food, know that one drop of the essential oil, the peppermint essential oil, is equivalent to about 12 cups of peppermint tea. It is that concentrated. Okay. One of the things that you can use the essential oil for is for easing headaches. And if I ever get a headache or get like tension buildup, I just put a drop mixed in with some carrier oil, like olive oil or coconut oil, because it's considered a hot oil. So I just massage it into the back of my neck and that headache goes away. So it is very useful when it comes to easing headaches, whether they be migraines or tension headaches. They're also good with if you're a woman who has really, really heavy and intense menstrual cycles. It's really good to ease that kind of pain as well. It's been scientifically tested and proven to kill bacteria like E. coli, Listeria, and Salmonella. And it's said to stop all of them from actually growing. It also kills the staph bacteria that causes infections like pneumonia, meningitis, all of those things. And if you happen to be on a diet or you're fasting, and I keep mentioning fasting because I'm on one,
Me too.
peppermint tea helps to curb your appetite so you don't get those cravings. So, those of you out there who are, I know you're in the period of Lent. So if you happen to be observing Lent and you're doing any kind of fast that involves no food, peppermint tea will help you to alleviate those cravings. Peppermint is also really good for allergies. A lot of people don't realize that. And if you're working with the essential oil, an equal part of lemon, lavender, and peppermint essential oils is like a perfect allergy blend. You mix that all up and you can kind of rub it underneath your nose. Make sure you have it in a carrier oil, obviously. And you just put a couple drops either around your nose or at the top of your lip. Or you can just inhale it. Inhaling it is fine. And that is an allergy blend. And I used that when my daughter was younger, and she has a lot of allergies when she was. There is an acid in there called rosmarinic acid, which helps to lower your body producing histamine. So that is what is responsible for the anti-allergic reactions or the anti-allergy benefit. So you get fewer symptoms, less runny nose, less sneezing, less red itchy eyes, that sort of stuff. Peppermint is also really good for focus and improving your memory. And peppermint has a lot of other benefits, but those are pretty much like the main ones. So on to you, MJ.
She said, like, yes, peppermint is amazing. Like I said, so peppermint has been a long time used in many healing potions. Even so, back in the day when they first started giving you medications, the tinctures and were so nasty, they would add drops of peppermint leaves in them so that way you can swallow them down. That's how far back it goes. They used to rub peppermint on the head so that way when you had a headache, it would alleviate the headaches of people. All right. And also it is worn on your wrists. So as magical, you rub it on your wrist, the leaves, and it prevents you from getting ill. That's how much they believe that this leaf can help you. Fresh peppermint on the altar is it's good to call in the good spirits. So say you need some altar work and you want to call in spirits, light an incense and peppermint that will help you. It helps you to sleep. Put some peppermint under your pillow and it helps you to relax. And what it does, it gives you a glimpse of the future. So you actually can project into the future with the smelling of the peppermint. All right. Also, if you rub or spray some on the walls, back in the days, they would rub and put them on the entranceways, and it would keep away negativity. So no negativity was allowed from coming in. All right. Also, it is a great for money and prosperity spells. All right. So you put some peppermint in there. Remember, it's the green, it's the leaf. It's going to give you prosperity. Place the leaf in your purse or wallet, or you rub. If you can't place the actual leaf in there, or when you gift somebody a purse or a wallet, you know you're supposed to gift somebody. When
Oh,
you
yeah,
gift them, you're
yeah,
supposed to buy, put $1 in there. Instead of gifting them $1, gift them a peppermint leaf in there, and you are bringing
Interesting.
prosperity into their life. So you know that. Okay. So here's the legend of peppermint. The god Hades was having an affair with a nymph called Minthel. When his wife found out about his infidelity, he turned Minfel into a common plant that grew like weed as an insult. To soften his lover's fate, Hades altered the curse. He left Mintel a weed, but gave her a sweet, calming scent to remind others of her presence as they walked over her. That is how much he loved her.
Hmm.
Archaeologists discovered 3,000 years ago that dried peppermint leaves were on the inner chambers in Egyptian temples. The
Yep.
reason, the oils
yeah.
that were used could be extract, and the value in the afterlife was priceless. So it wasn't even about this life, it was about taking the oil to the afterlife. So it could be priceless. In ancient Roman, they would use it on their food. They were the first ones to actually start using it on their food so that their food will have a fragrance of it. And they would put it in their wine, and they would decorate their tables on it, and they would make wreaths. They said it brought them prosperity. All right. The ancient Hebrews would cover their synagogues with it. So they would literally color floor to floor, all corners, because of the smell. They said it brought in the gods to them. All right. And then this is a fun fact for you. Let's talk about candy. Did you know that peppermint is officially the Christmas candy? It is officially the Christmas candy. But do you know that not one person so far in history can tell you who invented the candy cane? So we have a mystery to solve, guys. If you can come
Yeah.
back, tell us who invented the candy cane. Who was the man that sprinkled a little peppermint oil into that candy to make it the most famous candy in the world? It is an unsolved mystery. Maybe you can solve it today. So that is what I
Oh,
have for
That's
peppermint. And
interesting.
then, right, and then for me, and I'll let you know in a minute. And for me, peppermint had two things. Because it was so protective, it's such a protective energy, but at the same time, it's such a beneficial prosperity. I gave it two crystals. I gave it pyrite and I gave it green calcite. Let me explain why. Pyrite encourages its realization, its protection, its abundance in all sense of the way. So for me, it's that's a stone. And then the green calcite is abundance, stability. All right. It's the stone of manifestation and protection. So combine them together and you have peppermint tea right there. So that's what I have for peppermint, right? Wasn't that interesting on
Interesting.
that one?
Yeah. I wanted to tell a story about peppermint because back home in the Cayman Islands where I'm from, there's a lady who made peppermint candy, and they literally when you put one on your tongue, it just melts. And she's passed away now, and I don't think anybody's really making them anymore. But that is one thing I always looked forward to was this peppermint candy. It's just so amazing. But yes, I wanted to get to there's some comments, and Cecilia says she gets really nauseous drinking the peppermint tea. And so that's kind of interesting. So I'd want to look into that a little bit further.
Oh,
I actually
Maybe
have
there's
that same feeling, Gina. I was going to ask, actually, thank you for mentioning Cecilia, because I was going to say the same thing. I get that same feeling when I drink tea, peppermint tea. It actually gives me that same, like, whoa, this is a little overwhelming for my stomach, and it gives me
hmm.
that nauseous feeling too. So sometimes I'm like, ooh, I can't do too much peppermint. I can't. I
I'm
don't know
wondering
why.
if it's mixed, if you mix it with something else like ginger or maybe a little bit of lemon juice, if that will kind of help make it easier. I'm
I think I'm
curious to
going to
know.
try it.
Yeah,
I'm going to
try
come
that
back
and
and
see what
try it.
happens.
I will
Yeah.
do that. Cecilia, why don't you try that too? And then come back on this post and let's comment the both of us and let's see how that works. And anyone else that gets nauseous from drinking peppermint, let's
Mhm.
mix it up with something, maybe even orange or lemon, and let's see if it changes the flavor for you so it doesn't get overwhelming. Okay, so we'd love to
And
hear your comments.
yeah, and this tea is in this tea, so you chances are you're not going to really taste it in the tea. You'll get the benefits of it, but it's not so overpowering
yeah,
in
you
the
just put a
tea that you're
pinch.
going to, right? So and you can
And
kind of
that's
play
the
around
thing
with the
when you
amount
make your
that you
own.
want to. Wait, say that again, Cheryl.
Yeah, when you make your own tea. When you make your own tea, if you don't like a lot of peppermint, just put a pinch because you still get the benefits. You don't need a whole. Just put a tiny bit. You
Exactly.
don't need a lot.
All right. So which one do you want to talk about next? How about burdock root?
That's fine. I had it in order that way anyway. So go ahead.
Okay. So let's do burdock root. And that I love burdock root. I love burdock root in
Hmm.
my tea as well as eating it. And I can share a couple recipes in our group using fresh burdock. It's amazing. It's amazing. So anyway, let's talk about burdock root. Burdock is a flowering plant, kind of like thistle. And in order to get the root, because the root grows to about 2 feet long, straight down, and it's really skinny, right? It's like really skinny. So you have to dig and dig and dig and dig. If you're trying to get the root up without breaking it, you really have to dig, dig, dig and clear all of that soil from around this really skinny 2 feet long root in order to get it out. So just that little story behind it, you know just how much work it takes to get to gather burdock root, right? Um, People have used it as an ingredient in their different dishes, and typically it's Asian countries that utilize the fresh burdock root in their dishes. And since I've been vegetarian and vegan and kind of playing around with a lot of the herbs in a more fresh way, like utilizing them in foods, I started to play around with burdock root one day because I happened to find some in a local market. So I said, "Oh, let me see how this actually tastes." And it does have that earthy, yes, but it's really good. I did a saute, stir fry with it, and it turned out to be really good. So if you happen to find fresh burdock, try it because it is really, really good. All right. Burdock root is also used for throat conditions like coughing. And I already explained how long and lean, up to 2 feet long. And so it does take a while to actually gather them. You can use it as food, tea, and in some cases you can find the essential oil, but I don't think I've ever seen the essential oil for it, but I know it's available. Um, Burdock root is actually one of the ingredients in my detox tea blend because it has so many benefits as far as cleaning out so many different organs. So it's a very, very powerful ingredient. And Cheryl, I don't know if you realize just how awesome of a recipe this is. So anybody out there who wants to blend, Cheryl, I'm putting you out there right now to kind of stock up
Thank you.
because you have a very, very powerful
Okay.
blend medicinally as well as spiritually. Just warning you, okay?
Yeah.
Just let you know. All right, so it helps the kidneys to purify your body of any kind of harmful contaminants. It also acts as a blood purifier. It kills bacteria in the bloodstream, And it also removes heavy metals from your system.
Yeah.
Okay, so it provides for better circulation as well as better function of your circulatory system. It strengthens your lymphatic system, and we all know that the lymphatic system is on constant working, because that's pretty much our garbage disposal, right? So our lymphatic system kind of needs a lot of help all the time. And if you're not doing some kind of lymphatic massage or some kind of massage on a daily basis, your lymphatic system can get kind of backed up, and that can lead to a host of other issues. So just incorporating burdock roots into your diet, or into your diet as a tea form or fresh, is going to help your lymphatic system. It is a natural diuretic, so it also helps your kidneys to process excess water. So if your body tends to hold in water, this is a natural diuretic. But if you are taking diuretics, don't incorporate burdock root on top of it, because you're gonna get dehydrated. We don't want that. And let me put this in here as well. If you are on any kind of medication and you're thinking about incorporating any kind of natural remedies, please talk to your doctor, because some of the things I'm going to mention, you'll hear me say, if you're taking this, then don't take that. Okay, because some herbs can interfere with your pharmaceuticals that you might be taking. So this is a natural diuretic. So if you are taking diuretic pills, then you do not want to be taking burdock root along with diuretic pills, because you're going to just get rid of too much water. All right. But if you are holding on to excess water and you're not on diuretic pills, this is a natural diuretic for that. Burdock root. See, even the dog agrees. So
and when the dog bark, I'm gonna say this real quick. I'm sorry, but when the dog barks, that's Hecate. That's Hecate's acknowledgement. Is a dog barking. So I want you to know.
Yeah, you're good. Okay. It is burdock root also helps to improve skin conditions, things like psoriasis, eczema, dermatitis. So if you regularly eat burdock root and you have these kind of conditions, you're going to notice a gradual improvement in your skin. So you can eat the burdock root or you can drink the tea. Either way, you're going to find benefits. And there are scientific studies that show that burdock root can also diminish the effects of aging. Here's why. Because it retains collagen and it reduces inflammation. So if you are noticing, that your skin is not as plump as it used to be, incorporating some burdock root into your diet may actually help. Cheryl got kicked out somehow. She'll come back. No, I'll let her back in.
Yeah.
Burdock root contains inulin, which is necessary for healthy and smooth digestion. So if you have any kind of issues like, let me go ahead and let Cheryl back in. There we go. If you have any issues like bloating, indigestion, then just this little ingredient in burdock root called inulin will help you to have smoother digestion. And studies are being done to see just how it benefits diabetes as well. Because one of the things with burdock root is it's been shown to improve people who have diabetes, but the changes have not been so dramatic. So they're still doing a lot more studies to see just how much it benefits people with diabetes. Studies have also been shown that burdock root can prevent cancer cells from spreading or metastasizing, whatever that word is, to other parts of the body, because there's a polyphenol in there called artigenin. And these are scientific studies. I'm not making this stuff up, so you can go do the research. And I have to throw that out there because sometimes, when we mention things like that, then we get locked down. But these are scientific studies that have been done, and this polyphenol called artigenin has been shown to prevent the cancer cells from actually spreading to other parts of the body. However, again, if you are going through cancer treatment, please do not assume that I am saying stop that and do this. Please consult your doctor. let them know that you're considering some natural remedies, and go from there. Okay. So burdock root is also a natural anti-inflammatory, and it will help with things like osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, and for people who have things like any kind of autoimmune condition, of which rheumatoid is one, lupus, and there are a host of others. Because this is a natural anti-inflammatory, you're going to get that kind of benefit from this. And this was one of the, I want to say herb, it's technically a root that I started to work with many years ago when I was first diagnosed. And I can tell you that it works. So when I saw the ingredients, first thing I thought about was Cheryl. Really, this is good. This is really good. So Cheryl, I know I keep saying this is a really awesome blend, and that's because it is. Okay, so burdock root also helps with an enlarged spleen. And it shows that when your spleen is enlarged, it shows that your body is fighting off some kind of infection. And the burdock root actually can help with fighting off those infections and bringing your spleen back to where it is supposed to be, because it naturally cleanses the blood. I mentioned that earlier, right? So by cleansing the blood, it's going to help to keep your spleen healthy. And by keeping your spleen healthy, it also is benefiting your liver, which is another part of the digestive and the I don't want to say the lymphatic system, but the liver, the gallbladder, all of those are benefited by the burdock roots. That made sense. Burdock root also helps with tonsillitis, sore throat, coughs. So if you make a tincture with the burdock root, you can use that to gargle with, and that will help with the help with your tonsillitis, sore throat, or coughing. It also speeds up wound healing. And there are many, many ways that you can work with burdock root. Like I mentioned earlier, you can use it in the tea form. There is the essential oil, herbal tinctures. You can get supplements, and you can also saute it. You can fry it, but in other words, you can use it in food. But studies have shown that the fermented version of burdock root is actually the best version to get. And that is it for burdock root. I know it's a lot, but it's just to show you just how powerful this tea blend is. If that one ingredient can do all of these, imagine how the combination of all of these ingredients, just how powerful it is. Over to you, MJ.
Yeah, so burdock root for me was, it's that female energy. It's about Venus. It's associated with the planet Venus, and that's a watery sign. So that's a lot of water. For me, when I did the research for burdock root, all I kept coming back with that it was mainly used for cleansing and protection. So it cast around the home. They used to place it on the home back in medieval times to ward off negativity and evil. And when guests came and they felt that the guests were negative, they would make sure they would hang it on the doors before they entered, so their negativity would be washed away as they entered the door. You gathered burdock root only on a waning moon, okay? And you cut this in small beads, and you place them on a string around your neck. And they protect you from yourself and from others because it wards off negativity. So you want to make a mala out of them, you can actually make your own mala out of burdock root. So you know that. All right. It's also used as a bitter agent before hops was invented to put into beer. Burdock root is what they used to make beer. It actually took off that bitter taste before hops was invented. So it was really used back in the day for that. All right. If you create a burdock charm and you hang it on the north door, it protects your home from evil influences and its stability. So for me, everything that burdock root talked about, and since it's like black kyanite. Black kyanite is a protective. It not only protects you from others, it protects you from you. So you can take some black kyanite. This one is like liquid gold to me. Why is black kyanite liquid gold? Because say you want to balance your chakras. Guess what? You're doing it just by adding a little black kyanite to each chakra. You are balancing, you're taking out the negative, not only negative from others, but you, because sometimes you are your worst nightmare. So for me, black kyanite is burdock root.
And if you notice, a lot of the spiritual benefits that we're talking about, they're very, very close to what the medicinal benefits. They're purification, basically. And that's
Yep.
what burdock root is all about, is purification. Yeah.
Yep. It's that cleansing. Yep. The restoration, the change. So, yep. I love it. Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Cheryl, did you want to say anything? I know we're kind of just talking, but I do want you to
I'm
jump
just,
in. So let me ask you something though.
no, I'm so overwhelmed.
I'm curious as to why you decided to put burdock root in here.
I've been using burdock root constantly. I use it as my black tea base because I'm healing myself. I've been on a healing journey. So I have gathered herbs that are going to heal my body. I have blood issues. I have a lot of stuff going on, but nobody, they've never figured out what's up with my blood. So I just started doing herbs on my own and the anti-inflammatory because I was holding so much water. Like I researched the stuff first and then that's what I have. And so that's what I pull to. But burdock root, like my husband's fighting fatty liver issues and stuff. So that's why I use burdock root all the time instead of black tea. It's my base. But now I found my new batch that I just got because I just ran out and got a new batch. It's more peppery, like it tastes more earthy or something. And I'm really intrigued by eating it raw, like how you're saying. That sounds really neat. Like I'm gonna have to find some. But the only other thing I had different was that I had that it was used in Egypt, and it says Egyptian witches that were unfazed by adversity and vitality, and it's also used for male potency. They would make teas and stuff out of it, and it counters magic. And so it's used if somebody were to attack you, it wards it off, it counters it, it throws it back. So it is like
Again,
black knight. It clears it, but it throws it back.
right, right. Well, I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed. You came up with a very good blend.
Very good blend. I use it. They're healing teas. Like the teas that I make have a lot of healing properties along with the other stuff. But that's why, because I'm trying to heal myself and my husband.
Right. Well, all the teas they're going to have healing properties. But what intrigued me, which is why I asked MJ to join me on this tea talk, was that a lot of these ingredients, or pretty much all of them, have this mystery behind it. You know, there's this history that of their spiritual uses, their magical uses from way back in the day that a lot of people don't really want to mess with and discuss. But the thing is, these were used in ways that most of us don't even know about. But today we drink a cup of peppermint tea and it's no big deal because we have an upset stomach. But then when you do the history of peppermint and you find out how the Egyptians used it and how the Romans used it, you know, you find all of this really interesting history behind it. So
you realize how magical you are. It's just like blowing out a candle, guys. It's like blowing out a candle.
Yeah.
You blow out a candle on the birthday, saying happy birthday. You sing happy birthday. You know what? Blowing out a candle is so magical in all sense of the way, talking way back. So to feel that you could just blow out a candle on a birthday and say happy birthday, not realizing where the history of that comes back from is something. And all the herbs that we talk about, even from beforehand, all the herbs are here to help you. If you take these herbs, regardless if it's this blend or any other blend, and you learn the history of it, you can use it for so many things. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to wake you up to all the magic that you're dealing with, you're zipping, you're feeling. And that's what these teas are for us. And we're very intrigued by every ingredient in them. So what is the next ingredients in this one?
The next one is dandelion leaf.
And I froze again.
I think it was Gina. I think she froze this time. Yeah. Okay. So since she froze, I'll start with the magical part. Since she froze, I'll start with the magical, the spiritual part of the dandelion root and the root. So dandelion is a masculine energy. It comes from the planet
He wrote about
Jupiter.
it in his book. I'm hoping that I didn't get cut off there.
You got cut off really bad. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I didn't say much though. In the 17th century, British botanist Nicholas Culpeper wrote about the dandelion in his book called Complete Herbal. And that's a very, very famous herbal book, Nicholas Culpeper. So you guys can go and look it up. But the history of dandelion root and leaf goes all the way back. And for those of you who, if you're thinking, is she talking about that weed that we all have in our yards? Yes, that's what I'm talking about, dandelion. Most people look at it and they see a weed. I look at it and I see medicine. The dandelion leaf as well as the dandelion root. It is very, very medicinal. But most people, they spray Roundup on it and they kill it and throw it away. After this, you will look at dandelion in a whole new way because it is very, very medicinal. So Nicholas Culpeper wrote about it in his book, and he said that the dandelion leaf and the root have an opening and cleansing quality and are effective for the promotion of urination, the treatment of obstruction, as well as illness of the liver, gallbladder, and the spleen. Historically it's been used in Ireland for things like diabetes, liver function, nervousness, pains, tuberculosis. It's been suggested that it may have been one of the bitter herbs that's been mentioned in the Old Testament. It was used in India for liver issues. So this is one of those herbs that it's got just so many different benefits. It is highly nutritious. So the next time you see dandelion, please don't, spray Roundup on it. Harvest it, use the greens. You can use them in salads. You can put them into juices. You can dry it and use it in tea, many different ways. It contains lots of potent antioxidants. It has anti-inflammatory benefits. And it's also really good for your blood. I mean, like everything in here is so good for your blood. It reduces cholesterol, the bad cholesterol. It can lower your blood pressure. But here's another caveat. If you're taking blood pressure medication, again, be very careful when you're working with dandelion leaf or root, because even though it does not reduce it so much, you still want to be careful if you're taking blood pressure medication. And one of the things I wanted to mention is if you've ever been to Café du Monde in New Orleans, the coffee that they have there is made of dandelion root and chicory. It's a natural, the dandelion root itself is a natural coffee substitute. And I know I've mentioned about my coffee and I've showed you my herbal coffee, and there's no coffee in there. It has lots of dandelion root, dandelion leaf, and chicory, and a host of other things. But yes, that drink that you get that's so famous in Café du Monde is actually dandelion root that's been dried and ground. Okay. The leaf, you can do the same thing. You dry it up. You can toast it, and you get that again. Use it for a coffee substitute. There are a lot of studies that are being done to see the effectiveness of dandelion on cancer. There are some studies out there, but there's still a lot more studies that are currently being done as well. One thing though, if you happen to be allergic to dandelion, you're going to be allergic to the leaf as well as the root. So be very careful there. And this is such a powerful plant, weed, however you want to look at it. I call it a medicinal weed because it's prolific. It just grows everywhere, right? But it has such great medicinal benefits, and I really want to get that out there to just take another look at dandelion and just know the medicinal benefits that it can give to you. But if you are allergic to it, yes, so we have to be very careful. And I do believe, another thing, one other caveat is that if you are taking lithium, which is an antidepressant medication, or Cipro or diuretics, then you have to be very careful taking the dandelion leaf root or any form of the dandelion at all, because it can have an adverse effect with the medication, just cause it to stop working. that sort of stuff. Over to you, MJ.
That's a lot of things. That's a lot for dandelion root. I think you
Yep.
covered all the medicinal purpose in there, and we'll leave that one there. But for me, dandelion root is it's associated. It's a masculine energy dealing with the planet Jupiter. It's air, and guess what? It's one of Hecate's favorite herbs. So when you have that out there, I was like, look at that. Hecate's coming into this again. All right. It's about divination, wishing, calling spirits in. All right. It is said to find out how long you will live, blow on the seeds of the head of the dandelion. You will live as many years as are the seeds left on the head. Woo! So go get a dandelion or be really
I've
gentle
never
I
heard
and
want to
take
do
that.
that again. And I want you to blow it.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
it
try.
is also, you guys, I knew I was going to blow you with that. Also, it said to tell time, hear me clearly, blow 3 times on the seed. All right, the head of it. The numbers left is the hours. So say you got something coming and you need the time frame of what is happening, blow 3
Wow.
times. 1, 2, 3, and the seeds left on top are the hours you need to wait. All right. It is said to send a message to the loved one, blow the head of the seed in their directions. So basically, you take a dandelion and I want to send a message to somebody. I would literally face them and I would blow it, see if they're around the world, and I would blow the seeds to them. And they will receive the message based on the seeds and the air in it. So dandelion was used in that magical sense in that way for many, many years, going way back. So for me, when I looked at dandelion, it's wolframite, which is wolframite is a strong presence in creating purpose, granting wishes. All right, doing with confidence. It expands your outcome. It is an amplifier of getting your dreams to come true. It brings confidence. It set goals. It's an amplifier, just like this entire tea. All right. It's boldness and it's about wishes. So for me, wolfenite is the crystal that I picked for
Oh, wow.
dandelion root. All right. So what do we
Wolfenite
got for
happens to be one of my favorite stones. Someone gifted me with a nice chunk a couple years ago. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it.
There you go. See, so that's a beautiful crystal to have for that. All right. So let's talk about the next one. So the next one on the list is white willow bark.
Okay, so white willow bark. Let me get there. White willow bark is actually, if you're not familiar, if you've ever taken an aspirin, then chances are you have taken a white willow bark, because white willow bark is considered to be nature's aspirin. And Felix Hoffman was the one who isolated the active ingredient, which is called salicinin, back in 1898. So white willow bark is all about anti-inflammatory, taking away pain, that sort of thing. That's what white willow bark does. It takes away pain. And so if you've ever taken an aspirin, the original form of aspirin came from white willow bark. So I see why Cheryl has it in here, because of all the anti-inflammatory properties of a lot of these herbs. I understand what she's been working with. So I know why she has the white willow bark in here. And that pretty much wraps up white willow bark. It is all about taking away pain.
Right. Okay. So for me, white willow bark, it's a feminine energy. It's about the moon once again, and it's water. So when using this, it's about love divination, protection, and healing. Willow leaves can be used to attract love in any way. And it also turns into a wart for ward magic. So that's where the protection comes in when you use it with the moon. If you wish to know if you will be married in a year, this is what you do. On New Year's Eve, throw your shoes or boot into a willow tree. If it doesn't catch or stay in the branches the first time, you have 8 more tries. If you succeed in trapping your shoe in the tree, you'll be married within 12 months. So we got to find some willow tree and we got to be throwing up. I want you to
I'm
throw
good.
it up and let's see who wants to get married within the year.
Oh,
Go, challenge you. I'll pass on the willow to experiment, but for those who do want to get married, please tell me how that works for you. Also, if you knock on a willow tree, it averts evil. All right. So the branches of the willow were used in witchcraft for protection. You can make it and put it into the brooms because it protects and it adds love. So they would sweep the broom through the house from the back to the front with the branches in the broom, and it helped protect and attract the love that you needed, especially if you were in the mood for bringing a lover in your life. You would go collect those branches and put them into your broom and start sweeping out from the back corners to the front so that way your lover can follow the branches to you. So for me, because white willow was such a beautiful energy and it's all about love and protection and understanding, I let it go with rose quartz. I gave it rose quartz because it was all about love, and rose quartz is about purifying, once again, see, purifying,
right.
encouraging, appreciation, and love. And we're going back to this tea, and this tea seems to be a purifying love with protection. So it's got that
Right.
three because I felt it on the end of the balance of this one. I was just like, this tea, even though it has different, it's very protective, but it's very healthy at the same time. But it's more
Mhm.
protection than anything else. So rose quartz is what I got for willow tea. That one really cleared it up.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So, next ingredient, we're going to talk about orange peel. Is
Yeah,
that
and
what
we
you?
talked about orange peel in the before, like 3 times before already.
Yeah. So let's talk about goji berries. Um, we won't say too much about orange peel, except that we've talked about it before in previous videos. But orange peel is loaded with fiber, with vitamin C, with folate, vitamin B6, calcium, all of those things. So it's going to be really, really beneficial for your immune system. So we're going to link other videos where I talk in depth about orange peel.
Yep.
And then we'll just go on to goji berries, because goji berries is a new ingredient, is a new herb for us. I don't think we've talked about goji berries in a
They're
previous one.
so
So
good.
let's talk about goji berries. And I happen to love goji berries. So, all right, so it's an excellent source of antioxidants, and studies have shown that these help to protect the eye membrane. So if you're having any kind of eye issues, the goji berry is actually scientifically proven to help with improving eyesight. It stimulates the growth hormone production, helping you to retain a more youthful look. So, a lot of us, when we get to a certain age, that growth hormone tends to kind of slow down in production. So the having some goji berries in your diet will actually help to stimulate that growth hormone production. It keeps you hydrated because it is rich in hydrogen, not oxygen. Goji berries is really high in hydrogen. It reduces the harmful cholesterol levels. It contains thiamine and magnesium, which also help to promote better sleep. So if you're having issues sleeping, goji berries is really good for that. It helps to protect the liver. And that's, we've been seeing that throughout a lot of the other ingredients in this tea as well. Very, very protective of the liver. It detoxes as well as protects your digestive system. And research is being done on the benefits for, let me flip this over, for things like Alzheimer's. So there's a lot of research already out there, but not enough to say, okay, yes, goji berries is good for that. So I'm saying that research is being done. So go ahead and you can find the research out there that's already been done, and you can study it up if there's anyone in your family who is, on that Alzheimer's spectrum. It's great for the digestive system. So it's going to be helping to boost your immune system, because it's loaded with, vitamin C. It's also loaded with zinc. And we know that those are the two things that have been in the news a lot over the last couple of years, with vitamin C and zinc combined to fight certain viruses that are going around. Goji berries is also helpful in reducing stress. It increases stamina and basically improves your overall mood. So if you're experiencing, you know, issues from being cooped up in your house all the time, goji berries incorporated into your diet will be very, very beneficial for that. On to you, MJ.
Okay, so for goji berries, for me, I was like, back in the day, they would call it wolf berries. So they were wolf berries. So wolf berries have been used for thousands of years in traditional Chinese medicine. It is said to boost your qi. So in that self alone, it it helps your life force to whomever consumes it. It restores youth, vigor, and vitality, particularly in men. Mm. Himalayan monks used it to aid in meditation and achieve elevated levels of spirituality. They would get to the next level by drinking it. All right. They would take a long time. They would use these berries when they were meditating for days and weeks and months because it would give them stamina. It would achieve longevity. It would give them youth in doing it. So for me, the golderberries was something that was all about the chi. And everything I read, it was all about the chi and retrieving the chi. And for me, when I think of chi, what do you think of? You think of quartz because amplified. It is the universal storm. It is, look at that. It is amplifying from where you need to read. It is the universal highest point of getting. So that's what I got for the goji berries that I loved. They were really, I love that, especially everything it talked about was talking about back in the Chinese, how they would use it.
Yeah.
Men would use it it for them, it was like a shingaling. Because what it would do, it would help them to get little, let's get it on. All right. I want you to know. So it was very stimulating energy for them. All right. And you need to be very, 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 very careful because a mixture of this, sometimes they wouldn't even allow you to have it because you would get so sexual. They were like, no, 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 no. So you had to be very careful when it came to it. So I found it very interesting because this tea blend, if you look at all the ingredients, not only is it healthy, not only is it ready to let's spark some passion in you and let's get freaky on you, but it's going to protect you at the same time. So I was overwhelmed. I thought this tea was amazing. So what did I get for the overall? What was this? This tea was two things for me, but I had to go with one. If I had to
I think
choose
we missed one
one,
ingredient. Sorry, not to cut you off. I think we missed one ingredient. Hibiscus.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
we did the hibiscus already.
We did?
No, we
Oh,
didn't do it.
oh, we didn't do the
No,
love
we
flower.
missed it.
No, we
missed
haven't.
That
it.
is.
Well, let's just
Let's do it.
do the
Do
let's
the
That's
just do
okay.
flower.
that.
Do the hibiscus.
We've talked about hibiscus in the past. So again, we'll link those videos, but just real quick, again, hibiscus is loaded with antioxidants like beta carotene, vitamin C. It's anti-inflammatory. It's going to help to lower the blood pressure. It helps to lower the bad cholesterol. So I can see why, Cheryl incorporated this into her tea blend. Plus, it gives you that, depending on how much you put, can give you a nice rich pink color or deep red, depending on how much you put in there. Okay, but it's really, really popular in places like Western Africa, Central and South America, as well as throughout the Caribbean. And I was sharing with them earlier that we call it sorrel. So we make a wine at Christmas time, but throughout the year, I've also been incorporating it into various tea blends. So again, this is a very, very powerful herb flower because it is a flower. And this in combination with everything else, Cheryl, you really, really did an amazing job in putting this tea
Thank
blend
you.
together. Very nice.
Thank you.
Over to you, MJ.
So for hibiscus, hibiscus is that female tea. It's the Venus. Now, hibiscus tea, this is about lust. Back in the days, the history of hibiscus was all about lust. The flower of a hibiscus tea brewed into a strong tea is drunk for the lust induced power. So when people, they would go back to the healers and the witches back in the day and they would ask them for this tonic so that they would be love induced. They would use it to just go out there and get it on. In Egypt, this drink was forbidden because it got out of hand. When men would drink this tea,
Interesting.
they would get out of hand. So hibiscus tea is forbidden in Egypt. All right. And sorcerers back in the day in Western Pacific areas would line the bowls with hibiscus tea before they would do their magical work, and they would let it sow it because it helped them rise their kundalini energy up, because part of the kundalini energy was to give him, in that sexual energy is where magic is as well, and they would use
Right.
it in that sense. All right. So for me, for hibiscus, the hibiscus was serpentine. Why? Serpentine has the power to bring back lust in your life. So if you've lost that power of lust, if you're like, I'm too old to have sex, it starts with you. It starts with you. All right. It brings down that power of love, that the need. It's a crystal that helps support your kundalini activation. All right. And bring back the change of sexual energy. Now, I hear a lot of people saying, MJ, I'm done with sex. That was later. That's not me. I'm not there anymore. I don't have it in my life. But it all starts with you. When you activate yourself, you light your light up to activate others. So you got to think about that. And it could be passion. That energy can be used to create magic, paintings, artwork. It could be used for
Exactly.
other things. Just don't think it's a sexual thing. I got to have sex with this person. That's all wonderful
It's
and dandy. And
creation energy.
yes, that is. Thank you. It is an energy of putting yourself out there. And that's what that energy is for hibiscus for me. So, yeah. And that when you blend it all together, that's when we go. And I think now, this is what I'll give you for this blend. So, this is your crystal for this blend that I thought was perfect. This is Vanadinite. Why is it Vanadinite? Vanadinite is a sea creature that crawls from the ocean. It is a fire crystal and has a liveliness of enthusiasm for life. It helps you heal. All right. It's an antidote for empathy. It helps you connect with people and experiences and infuses the chi life force into you. Are you reading what I'm getting
It's
here?
like
Because
the
everything, it's
perfect.
passion, it's energy.
Mhm.
Okay. It's taking yourself to the next level. Take action, imparts strength. So it says liveliness, enthusiasm, vitality, and passion. That is the crystal for this tea. It is everything you
Vanadinite.
named and more.
And see, there it is. Let me get it up there. Right.
See, and look at that. It blends with it with so well. And you know what? And this time, I really took the time to
I have it
actually
in the
look at the
spreadsheet.
words and the ingredients of the tea to find the correct crystals that would actually hit it on the nail. And that's what I got for this tea.
Mm-hmm. And on
So,
this International Women's Day, boom.
boom, we just got hit with a wonderful tea, Cheryl. That was
Thank
amazing. And
you.
guys, we want you to know, you
Yes.
see how Cheryl created this? You guys can create your own tea. I'm just going to say it again once again. Teas are not expensive. I know people are jumping on the tea bandwagons and join. You're paying for people's names. You're paying for people's labels. You're paying for people's marketing. Teas are not expensive. You can buy a lot of tea for a little bit of money. And I'll give you another thing that Gina talked about in the last episode, because we talk about the oolong tea, and she took a tea bag that was bought from the dollar store. So your 99 cents tea with another 99 cents tea, and you blend them together, and you just made a magical tea blend. I want you to think in that sense. If you want to up your tea experience, please do that. But don't waste, don't not pay your rent. Do not pay a bill. Do not to get on this crazy fad of I gotta be on magical teas when you yourself are the magic. I'm gonna keep saying that. You yourself are the magic. The tea is a complement to your magic, and it's so easy to create. So let's go back to basics. We can create teas, guys, and I'd love you to try it. Look at Cheryl. You just did an awesome try. I compliment this for you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
There's one thing I'd like to add in. Make sure you're getting them from the right source. We want to get organic. You don't want to get it laden with
Yeah, mine's all organic.
that sort of thing. So source them well. Source them well.
And if you need names of places that you go to, Gina has some great places. that I also have some great organic places that I use just for teas, like I said, and they're very inexpensive. I'm going to keep saying it. I don't want people to get stuck and get scared. It's like, oh my God, I
No.
can't. Do not do that. Tea making is so crafty and beautiful, and it's simple. It's really, so you can go in your refrigerator, you can go in your cupboard, and I challenge you to go that. And you probably have some ginger tea, you probably have some hibiscus or other kind of teas, and take them all and blend them, and you're going to make an amazing tea. Challenge yourself to be more magical, guys, because
There's
honestly,
one thing I wanted to. I'm gonna. This will not take long. I completely forgot to do it, but this will not take long. You want to make your tea even more magical? Pull out your tuning fork and charge your teas with your tuning fork. This is 528, which is a love energy. So all I have to do, hit it and place it inside of my tea, charging my tea to the frequency of 528. And you can do that with any beverage. You can do that with your water. You can do that with your teas. You can do that with your juices. So that's one of the tips I wanted to bring. If you have a tuning fork, start to work with it in this way. Start charging up all of your beverages. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more next week. I wanted to really spend some time on that. But I just to throw that out there, okay? So if you
and
have
just so you know, I'm gonna just add on that. If you do not have tuning forks and sound equipment, I mean, remember, Gina and I are Reiki masters, and sound therapy is part of what we do. Your voice is just as accurate. Blow some air into that water. Take your hands, put some hand energy. This is your chi, guys. That right there is your chi. So if you don't have anything, you are the magic. And I want to keep saying that for as long as I go. If you strip me all down, I am the magic. You are the magic, guys, and you are all you need. And remember, there's magic in the cup of this tea. So enjoy your teas. Tea is the magic right here. So thank you, Gina. Thank you, Cheryl, for amazing tea talk.
Thank you
This was
again.
awesome. All right. Thank you
On
for
that
that.
note, thank you everybody who came out. Happy International Women's Day again. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, MJ. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.